So we were discussing about ER diagram in previous video. In ER diagram we represent or we specify or we explain how to represent entity set, how to represent relationship, about the attributes of the relationship, attributes of entity set, etc. Now we have to study the notation which is used to represent a weak entity set. We know the meaning of entity set. This part we studied the meaning of entity set. What is an entity set? Entity set is it's a collection of entities which follow same properties. For example, if you are taking all the students in a college, the properties will be common to all. So that is the meaning of an entity set. So what is the meaning of weak entity set? That is the next point we have to study. So before explaining this one, let us consider this example figure which already studied. Here we have two entity sets are given. The first one is instructor and the second one is student. We know that the rectangular box which is divided into two parts are represent entity set. So instructor, we will write the name of the entity set at the first portion of the rectangle. So instructor is an entity set. Each instructor in an instructor will have this much of attributes, that is ID, name and salary. If you want to identify a particular instructor uniquely, which is the set as the primary key attribute, this ID is set as the primary key attribute. So if you know the ID of an instructor, you can uniquely identify each instructor from that entity set. So the second entity set we took here is about the student entity set. Okay, the student entity set has this much of properties, that is this much of attributes are there for a student entity set. That is ID, then name of the student, then total credit of the student. And if you want to identify a particular student, we are setting ID as a primary key. So here we took two entity sets. First one is called the instructor. So here I wrote here first one is the instructor with these three attributes, in which instructor ID is set as the primary key for this entity set. And in the case of student, it contains these three attributes, and here also the ID. So here we are taking this ID as the student ID, which is set as the primary key. So if we have any entity set that contains a primary key, that is, if we can set a primary key for an entity set, then such entity sets are called the strong entity set. This is the meaning of strong entity set. So here both instructor and student are strong entity set. Why? Because instructor, for the case of instructor entity set, we can set the ID which as a primary key, and in the case of a student, we can also set ID as a primary key. Okay, so the next point is that we can consider another example. Consider a company, that is, let any company, any organization, and there is an entity set which is called an employee. Let employee be an entity set in a company. And we know that every employee in a company we have attributes, that is ID. Each employee we have an ID, and employee name will be there and the designation will be there. Okay, so you imagine an entity set, that is the entity set is the employee. Okay, employee is an entity set with attributes ID, employee name and designation, and which can be set as a primary key. We know that if you take any company, every employee will have an ID which can be used to identify an employee uniquely, and so we can set it as a primary key. Then suppose that the company is interested in storing the dependents of each and every employee in the company. For that purpose, that is whatever dependent means. Suppose if you are taking a particular person, let it be what to say, any name, Amar. Amar is a name. Suppose he is an employee of Infosys. So all the information about Amar is stored in the employee table, including the name of the Amar and the ID of Amar, employee ID of Amar, which will be unique. Then designation, he may be project manager of Infosys. So suppose that the company is already interested to store the dependent of Amar or dependent of each and every employee. So that may be stored in another table. So that table stores all the dependents of each and every employee in Infosys. So I'm just taking it as an example. And here what will be that for that purpose we let it be another we can set another entity set which is called a dependent entity set, where we are storing all the dependents of each and every employee, that is of employees. Okay, the dependent can be wife of the employee, children of employee, father of employee, mother of employee. So all the details of each and every employee in a particular organization, and suppose we are or the company is storing it in another entity set, that is called the dependent. So let it be the name of the entity set, and which let these three attributes are there in the dependent entity set, that is the name, the age and the relationship. So one problem that may arise in this entity set, dependent entity set, is that suppose that the dependent entity set contains a name called A, okay, that is the first field. Then let the dependent has age 26 and let it be the wife of some wife. Okay, so I'm just writing wife. Let it be the wife of any particular employee. So A is the name, 26 is the age, wife is the relationship. Okay, and suppose that in that manner it all that table or that entity set store each entity, and there may be some other entity who always has the same name A. Maybe her age will be 26, same age, and she may be the wife of any other employee. Okay, not that employee, any other employee. That is, in the case of dependent relationship, we cannot uniquely identify each and every dependent, each and every entity using any of the subset or any of these attributes. That means that if you are using name as a primary key, we know that different persons will have same name. If you are setting age, different persons will have same age. If you are taking relationship, here also we cannot set it as a primary key, because no attribute in this case, in this entity set, can be set as a primary key. There is no primary key if you are considering this example. So such entity sets are called weak entity set. Okay, so that is the meaning of weak entity set. Weak entity set means if you have an entity set and if you cannot set a primary key for such entity set, that is an example of weak entity set. So in this case, employee is a strong entity set because employee has a primary key ID. But dependent is a weak entity set because in the case of dependent, these three attributes were there. We cannot set a primary key for the dependent entity set because none of the attribute can uniquely identify an entity in this entity set. And one more property is that if there exists a dependent an entity in the dependent entity set completely depends on the employee. So as I said, if you are taking Infosys as a company and let an employee is the table, or let it be the entity set which store all the employees of Infosys. So in that case, suppose so that details about the employee will be stored inside the employee table, and the employee, if a person is an employee of Infosys, then their relatives information or their dependents information will be stored in dependent entity set. That is mainly this, let it be these informations. So if the person is the employee of Infosys, then only the values will be entered. That is the dependent information about that each and every person in that employee entity set will be stored in this dependent entity set. So that is not important point. So here each and every dependent entity set depends on any one employee entity. That is, there existed an entry or there exists an entity in dependent entity set if the corresponding entity has a dependent here. That is, if any one of that person's relative is an employee table. Okay. So I think you understood the meaning of weak entity set and strong entity set. What is the difference? Weak entity set is an entity set which does not contain any primary key. But strong entity set is an entity set which contains the primary key. Now, so whenever we consider this example, that is the employee entity set, dependent entity set, we know that a weak entity set, we know that a weak entity set always completely depends on a weak entity set completely depends on another entity set. So in our example, the dependent entity set, the dependent entity set which was a weak entity set which completely depends on employee, that is the strong entity set. Okay. So in our case, the dependent entity set completely depends on employee entity set. So this employee entity set is called identifying entity set. Identifying entity set, which is also called owner entity set. So what is the meaning? Actually here dependent is an entity set, but it does not have an independent existence. There will be an entity in this dependent entity set if there exists a corresponding employee in the employee entity set. So always a weak entity set depends on another entity set which will be very strong, and we can call this one, in our example we can call the strong entity set on which this weak entity set depends as identifying entity set or owner entity set. Okay. So in our case, the employee entity set is called owner or identifying entity set. So that is what we already explained. So the next point is, what is the meaning of discriminate? So then our next purpose is, we know that we already took this example. So we already know that the dependent contains, in our example, the dependent this entity set contains only these three attributes, and we cannot create a primary key in this case. So how we will uniquely identify a dependent? If you want to identify a dependent, or if you want to uniquely identify a dependent entity set, or if you want to set a primary key for this dependent entity set, what we will use is, we will take we will take only minimal number of attributes that can help to identify an entity uniquely. Suppose that we are taking name. Okay. If name, we are just taking the name alone. We are not setting it alone as a primary key, because different persons will have a same name. So we will take any minimal number of attributes that can uniquely, that help to uniquely identify a particular dependent entity. That is called discriminator. Okay, that is the meaning of discriminator. So I will read the point of discriminator. So I will read the point of discriminator. So we know that weak entity set does not have a primary key. So if you want to create it as a primary key for this weak entity, what we do is we will take some extra attributes from this weak entity set, which are called the discriminator, and to this discriminator we will add the primary key of the dependent relationship, this combination can uniquely identify each and every entity in dependent entity set. For example, we said that the employee has a primary key called ID. Okay, then dependent is another entity set which has these three attributes. So we will take any one attribute which can help to identify the person uniquely. Let it be the name. Okay, so we are taking a subset of attributes which help to identify an entity in dependent entity set uniquely. Then we will try to combine. We will take the primary attribute of the dependent. We know that employee is the dependent entity set. So we will take the primary key of this employee, that is ID, and we are combining this with the name field of we are combining the name field of this dependent entity set, which is called a discriminator. So this combination, if you are taking this combination, which we can uniquely identify each and every entity in this dependent entity set. For example, if an employer in Infosys has employee ID 1, employee ID 2, like that. If one and we can use ID, that is 1, Anju, means employee ID 1 will be unique. So 1, Anju can uniquely identify a dependent entity in dependent entity set. If you are taking 2, Anju, that means that Anju is the wife. She may be the wife of employee with the employee ID 2. So this combination can uniquely identify each and every entity in this weak entity set. So that is the main point you have to consider here. Since the weak entity set does not have a primary key, or we cannot set a primary key for weak entity set, there may be an entity set on which this weak entity depends. So in this case, the employee is which is a strong entity on which this weak entity depends. So what we do is we will take a discriminator. So remember that discriminator is it's a set of attributes which are selected from a weak entity set, which will be combined with the primary key of the strong entity set, and that combination can uniquely identify the weak entity set, each entity in the weak entity set. So as we already discussed, ID, which is an primary key of entity employee, is combining with the name, which is a discriminator, which is an attribute of the weak entity set. So if you are combining both, you can uniquely identify each and every entity in this dependent entity set. Okay, so there are some other points are there. We know that every weak entity set is existence dependent on the identifying entity set. So what is the meaning of identifying entity set? An entity set on which the weak entity set always depends. So I already told this. This is a weak entity set. This is a strong entity set. So this weak entity set always depends on the strong entity set, which is called an identifying entity set. The strong entity set is called an identifying entity set. So this weak entity set does not have an existence, will be existence dependent on the identified entity set. Always each and every member of this weak entity set completely depends on that identifying strong entity set. So we can say that identifying entity set is set to on the weak entity set. That is, it is owning. The main one is the strong entity set called employee, and actually this weak entity set dependent is completely depends on the employee. So we can say that the employee owns the dependent entity set. So we can make the relationship between this weak entity set and strong entity set is called identifying relationship. Okay. And this we already created the primary key. So here we are not using the name primary key for a weak entity set. Instead of that, we are using the term partial key. Partial key is a combination of that is, we are combining the primary key of the identifying entity set. Here we took an ID of employee plus the weak entity sets discriminator. Okay, so here I will show you another example. And before that, we have to study what is the notation which is used to identify a weak entity set. Normally, an entity set is represented by a rectangle, and a weak entity set is represented by a double rectangle. That is, this means that payment is a weak entity set. Okay, and next one is about how to represent the relationship. We set up the relationship between a weak entity set and a strong entity set is called identifying relationship. And normally a relationship is notated by using a diamond symbol. Since it is a relationship is between a weak and strong entity, this type of the identifying relationship is represented by double diamond. So here we can see there are two entity sets are there. The first one is loan and second one is payment. Loan has two attributes are there, loan number and amount, in which loan number is the primary key. That is why we are underlying it. So we know that loan is a strong entity set. So let payment is another entity set with the attributes payment number, payment date and payment amount. So we cannot set a primary key for this one. So we will take only a subset which can help to create a partial key, that is to uniquely identify. We cannot set a primary key for this payment information because the payment information completely depends on the loan. Based on the loan only we can do the payment. So this one is a weak entity. Since it does not have a primary key, we have to create a discriminator. So normally a discriminator is denoted by a dashed line. So this in the figure indicates that payment number is a discriminator. We are combining this payment number with the primary key of the parent, that is primary key of the identifying entity set, which is the loan. With the combination can uniquely, if you are taking loan number and payment combination, can uniquely identify each and every entity in this entity set. Okay. So in this case, the primary key of payment, if you want to create a primary key or partial key of payment, that will be the loan number along with the payment number. And here the discriminator in this example, the discriminator is payment entity, payment, that is the payment number. This is with the payment number. Sorry. So in our case, the payment number we are this payment number we are setting as the discriminator for this payment table. So I think it is clear now. And one important feature about the weak entity is that weak entity, each and every element of a weak entity set will be total, will have a total participation, because if there exists, if you are taking this example of employee and dependent, we know that this employee if you are taking, there must be an entry in this dependent entity set if a corresponding employee works in that company. Otherwise, we cannot enter the dependent information in this dependent table. So that means that every entity in this dependent entity set will have a corresponding relationship with any one entity in this employee entity set. So always a weak entity set's participation will be total. So we know that how to represent a total participation, that is indicated by double line. And a strong entity set, it may not be total, it can be partial. All the entities in the strong entity set may not be, identifying entity set may not be participating in the relationship. Okay, so that is very important one. Whenever we are going to represent the relationship, that is the identifying relationship which exists between a strong entity set and a weak entity set, we have to consider this point. Always the weak entity set will be in total participation in this relationship, but the weak entity set may be total or partial. So we are just representing it as a single line. So next is how to draw an ER diagram. So as I said, we already studied some important points about an ER diagram, different notations used in ER diagram. They are entity, how to represent the entity set, how to represent a relationship set, a relationship, how to represent the attributes of entity set or attributes of a relationship. Then there are one to many, many to one, or cardinality numbers, 0 to 1, like that. Then next is about how to represent a weak entity, a strong entity, a total participation, a partial participation. So we already studied the main important points that are needed to represent a database. Okay, the graphically represent an ER diagram. And if you have any question regarding this ER diagram, suppose that draw an ER diagram for this system, for example, library management system or university enterprise. If there exists any question regarding to the ER diagram, your first task will be, first you try to identify each and every entity set in that particular enterprise. For example, here we can see that it is a ER diagram for a university enterprise. So here the first thing is that whenever we are considering any university, we know that course will be there, which is an entity set. Then department will be there, which may be another entity set. Instructor will be there, student will be there, then section will be there, time slot will be there, classroom will be there. So normally these are the most commonly used entity sets that are available or that are present in university enterprise. So first you try to draw them, and after that you try to identify each and every attribute of entity set. For example, if you are taking department, the department has the attributes: department name, building and budget. And if you are taking student, as we said, ID, name and total credit. And instructor, these are attributes, these are the attributes of course, etc. So that will be your next step. And after that you try to identify the primary keys. So you try to check whether there exists whether the entity is a weak entity or a strong entity. If an entity set is a strong entity, definitely it will have an primary key. Okay, so you try to underline, that is, we know that primary key is normally represented by underlining the attributes. So here it is shown here. And after that you try to identify if there exists any relationship between any of these entities. So we know that instructor is advisor, the relationship can be, you give an appropriate name for that. So here instructor is an advisor of student, and there exists there is a relationship between instructor and department, that is, he may be you can give any name, maybe works for, here we are just taking the name instructor department relationship. And we know that always you consider that every total partial relationship does not means that this one is a weak entity set. If all the weak entity set will be in total participation, but don't think that instructor is a weak entity set. That is very important question. So here all the instructor will be working in a department, that is why we are taking it as total participation. So here we doesn't mean that it is a weak entity, it already has an ID as a primary key, but here the total participation is different. Okay, then that's it. After that we are taking, this is a many to one, that is many instructors may be working in one department. Okay, that is it. Next one is the student department relationship. We know that every student will be studying in any one department, so it's a total participation. It also doesn't mean that it is a weak entity. Okay, then this is also many to one, many students may be working in one department or studying in one department. So like that we can study. Then next one is we have to consider is about the section and student. Okay, section takes student, and each student can give a grade. So this is an attribute for this relationship. So we are representing it as a particular box, that's undivided box, and we are connecting it by dashed line. And next we have to consider is this one. We know that if you see any double diamond, that means it is a identifying relationship. So this means that the section and the community, that is the relationship between the section and course, section and time slot, they are identifying relationship. Identifying relationship means that a section entity set does not have a uh, primary key. We cannot set a primary key. So here section ID, I think section, all these attributes, I think we are just taking all this combination as a discriminator, and this will be combined with the course ID in order to get the primary key. So this is a weak entity, this is a strong entity. So in this relationship, here this is a total participation. So this this is a identifying entity set. This is identifying relationship set. So the communication from section to any other entity set will be weak to strong entity, that kind of communication. So this is how to draw an ER diagram, and this is an example of ER diagram for university enterprise. So like this manner you can study different entity ER diagrams. There are a lot of ER diagram or rules for ER diagrams are available in net. So you can just, so this is the main points you have to consider. Okay, so that's all for this weak entity set, which is very very important one. Okay.